At some point, most cat owners have experienced it. You're sitting quietly, minding your own business, and your cat walks in carrying something. A toy, a sock, a hair tie, or something considerably less pleasant from outside and drops it at your feet with an air of unmistakable intention. The most common explanation passed around is a simple one. Your cat is a natural hunter, and they're bringing you prey as a gift. Some versions of this story add that your cat thinks you're a bad hunter and is trying to teach you. It's a charming narrative. It's also incomplete, and in some cases, it misses the real meaning of the behavior almost entirely. The truth behind why cats bring things to specific people is more layered, more socially complex, and more emotionally significant than the gift framing suggests. And once you understand what's actually driving it, you'll look at that dropped toy very differently. Here's what most owners miss. The bringing behavior isn't one single thing. It's several related but distinct behaviors that share a surface appearance but carry different motivations underneath. Let's go through what's actually happening.
The hunting gift explanation gets one thing right. This behavior is rooted in predatory instinct, but here's what most owners miss about that. In the wild, the act of bringing prey back to a specific location or specific individual isn't primarily about teaching or about generosity. It's about social inclusion. It's about who gets brought to whom. In feline social groups, particularly among related cats and in the behavior of mother cats, prey is carried back to the nest and shared with kittens and trusted companions. The mother cat doesn't bring prey to every cat she encounters. She brings it to the ones she's responsible for, the ones she's bonded to, the ones she considers part of her immediate social unit. When a domestic cat carries something to you specifically, not to another person in the house, not to a spot in the corner, but to you, they are performing the social version of this behavior. You are being treated as a member of their inner circle, someone worth sharing with. Animal behaviorists who study feline social structures have noted that this selective bringing behavior is one of the clearest behavioral markers of a close attachment. Cats don't bring objects to people they merely tolerate. The selection itself is the message. Out of everyone and everything in this environment, you are the one this goes to. That's not random, and it's not about your hunting abilities. It's a social act rooted in the same instinct that drives a mother cat to carry food back to her kittens, and you have been placed in that inner circle deliberately. The practical takeaway: notice who your cat brings things to. If it's consistently you and not others in your household, you're receiving a social signal that most owners misread as quirky or amusing without recognizing its actual depth. The appropriate response isn't complicated. Acknowledge it. A soft verbal response, a moment of attention, even just looking at the object, letting your cat know the delivery registered is all this behavior needs to feel complete. This layer of the bringing behavior is the one most commonly overlooked, and it's arguably the most emotionally complex. In addition to the social sharing instinct and the play invitation, there is a third driver that appears specifically in cats with a strong parental level attachment to their owner, a genuine, instinct-driven impulse to provide for the person they're bonded to. Here's what most owners miss. Mother cats don't just bring prey to their kittens to share. They bring it because they're responsible for those kittens' survival. The bringing behavior in this context isn't social or recreational. It's caretaking. It's the behavioral expression of, I am responsible for you and I'm acting on that. When a deeply bonded adult cat carries objects to their owner, particularly combined with other parental bond behaviors like kneading, following, and seeking proximity during stress, the object bringing may be partially driven by this same caretaking impulse directed at you. Feline behavior researchers who study attachment have noted that the most intense and frequent object-bringing behavior tends to occur in cats that display other secure attachment markers toward a specific person, suggesting that the behavior isn't random or purely prey-driven in these cases. It clusters with other behaviors that reflect a deep sense of responsibility toward and investment in a specific individual.
This is also why some cats bring objects to owners who are sick, resting, or visibly upset. The instinct to provide, to do something caretaking in a moment where the bonded person seems to need something, appears to activate the same behavioral pathway that drives the bringing behavior in other contexts. Your cat cannot bring you medicine or make you tea, but they can bring you the thing their instincts say constitutes care and provision, and that's exactly what some of them do. The practical takeaway: if your cat brings you objects during moments when you're unwell, upset, or simply very still and quiet, take note of the context. What looks like a random delivery might be a genuine, instinct-driven attempt to care for you. Receiving it the same way you would receive any other bringing behavior, with acknowledgement, calm attention, and without disrupting the moment, honors the impulse behind it, even when the object is a chewed hair tie. Here's the fourth layer, and it's the one that complicates the gift narrative the most. Not every object a cat carries and deposits in a specific location is directed at you personally. Some bringing behavior is territorial in nature, a cat displaying, organizing, or redistributing objects in their space as a form of environmental management. This is particularly common in cats that carry objects to the same spot repeatedly, or that bring things to a location rather than specifically to a person. Here's what most owners miss about this version. It's easy to interpret any object delivery as a social gesture, especially when the delivery location is near you. But a cat that drops something at your feet while walking past you, without making eye contact, without pausing, without any apparent expectation of response, is doing something behaviorally different from a cat that sits with the object and waits for your reaction. Territorial carrying behavior is linked to a cat's instinct to manage the objects in their environment, to move things from one place to another as a form of scent marking, territorial organization, or simply because the object caught their attention and triggering the carry and deposit behavior felt satisfying. In multi-cat households, this behavior often increases because the presence of multiple cats raises the environmental management instinct. The practical takeaway: learn to distinguish between the directed bringing behavior, eye contact, waiting, social intention, and the passing deposit, which is more about your cat's relationship with their environment than with you specifically. Neither is cause for concern, but reading them differently helps you understand your cat more accurately and respond appropriately to each.